Hey guys, I'm back nearly after a week. There were some issues back at my home, so that's one thing. Also, I'm a student, so there are frequent tests within a week. Also, there is a heavily tight schedule for my studies and online lectures, so that's the second thing. Following up, the third one being what is this video about? Right here, I'm starting a series which is called The Bottom Line, in which I would briefly discuss an idea and present my thoughts and theories regarding it, which might be beneficial to the franchise. But overall, audience watching it can present their views towards my discussion and all down in the comments. I will definitely go through them to better next time. The fourth and the last thing being anime rewrite. Many people have asked me, what about anime rewrite? Where have you been? So it would be uploaded on a weekly basis on Thursdays. Usually Sundays are my exams. So I need time to collect footages, pictures, editing, and all that stuff, recording for an anime rewrite more than a series like Bottom Line. So that's the reason I chose Thursday for anime rewrite, and Mondays I would have the Bottom Line series continue, and either it would be replaced on alternate weeks with another series which I'm starting on the channel, that is Top 5, starting next. So please comment down your thoughts, pitch ideas if any, do subscribe, like and share the video if you love my content. So finally, let's begin with the first part of today's discussion: how Rainbow Rocket can change the course of Pokemon journeys. Right now, Pokemon Journeys has started with the Pokemon Master Journeys, the new season of Journeys, but that's definitely not the topic. The topic is about Team Rainbow Rocket. Over the course of 20-year-old anime, many fans had dreamed of an all-evil teams at least for once to form an organization which actually has some might. Yeah, I know not everyone likes it. Also, the anime every time makes the evil teams look like a joke, even though they are the main part of jokes within the games, because literally one character sweeps the entire evil teams within the games. The reason they make them seem like a joke is that anime is simply made for kids. But over these many years, Ash and other characters are somewhat mature, and the journey's main idea of traveling all regions even more supports this theory of mine. So, right now, I am presenting a theory which I know writers can make this work out. So, we all know Ash, Go, and Chloe are research fellows at the Sakuragi Research Lab back in the Kanto regions for Radiant City. They usually go around regions to learn more about Pokemon. So, imagine a Rainbow Rocket team being formed behind the scenes. In every region, small missions of taking over the world by activating power sources or taking control of power sources at multiple places would slowly but steadily increase the might of Team Rainbow Rocket. And it's not like the leaders would be at all the spots. The admins can team up and form groups to carry out these operations. And then Ash and gang, along with the professors, slowly working to find what's happening. Because because if such small, at least small but constant missions are working out, then there are chances of these resulting in havoc between the Pokemon of wild areas. Not talking about the city regions, but usually the wild areas might get suffered due to such missions. So they would be behind what's the reason for all this chaos. And this might actually work out as Ash is the best version of himself, and finally going against Giovanni's Team Rainbow Rocket could give him a meaningful end to the journeys along with competing against Leon. Now, the best thing if I was into writing the Journeys anime would be that launching a side series just like Mega Evolution specials for the XYZ anime to slowly establish and limitless organization behind the scenes which actually has some potential to stop all the protagonists from carrying out their roles in day to day life and cause chaos in the whole world. If anyone doesn't know the roles and important members of the Team Rainbow Rocket are, then Giovanni would be the leader. Cyrus would be the second in command since he's the one who knows more about time dimensions, etc., which might be important for carrying out these operations and managing things aside from Giovanni. Faba is the head researcher as he would join Giovanni to give him access to Paradise to carry out his research and control time and go to other dimensions to catch catch legendaries. Now why going to other dimensions to catch legendaries? If you know the Ultra Sun and Moon plot, he gets evil team leaders from other dimensions where they were successful. But if he's getting them from the dimensions where they were successful, would they come along with a guy who failed in his own dimension? So he would take the failed leaders from his dimension, go to other dimensions, capture the legendaries over there by uniting whole team with other members on the team being Archie, the leader of Team Aqua, Maxi, the leader of Team Magma, Getsis, the leader of Team Plasma, and Lysandre, the leader of Team Flare. Also, Lysandre can lead the missions at the ground level rather than being around at the headquarters, as his experience. If you're thinking what is or why is this thing needed, then the simple answer being that the Darkest Day arc has already ended and for good. So the Team Rainbow Rocket can give a side quest to the protagonist. Also, other than the world coronation series, this might be the biggest thing happening in the series. As much I noticed traveling as detectives is also great for the gang because as researchers they are not doing any something great work, they are just roaming around and helping go catch new pokemon rather than understanding physique or learning about locations. It's all about go catching new pokemon and completing his decks. So that's one thing. Also, if you are thinking the gang is most of the time in Kanto, wouldn't they get to know about Giovanni doing all this stuff since Giovanni is also from the Kanto region? So I would suggest Giovanni leading Team Rainbow Rocket from Johto, as anime hasn't been in Johto for a long time, and Giovanni being in Johto might be one of the reasons why Ash and gang, also Professor Oak, can't know why is all that stuff happening, even though Team Rocket is nowhere to be seen, because the stuff is actually being done by the Team Rainbow Rocket. So that's my theory. Coming to part 2 of this video, why Pokemon games need challenge mode. For years, players of the Pokemon games have wanted a difficulty setting. Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 finally made this a reality. However, it had a twist. These modes cannot be unlocked at the first, but rather after completion of the game by beating the champion to become a champion, we can unlock the feature of challenge mode. However, that doesn't mean that the game developers of Pokemon, for an instance, knew why difficulty affects our players or the players of the game who are actually going through the game. To understand why this matters, let's understand how difficulty makes a game for a long-term players better. Even though Pokemon has never spoke out at our faces, but they know that the original 10-year-old audience they had back in 1997 or the 2000s, for example, has grown up, but they are still connected with the franchise in one or another way. Also, the fact that the players are ready to play Nuzlocke, which at first instance looks horrifying as once our Pokemon is lost, our heart breaks. That's pretty simple. But it would not happen if the game itself becomes harder. Now what hard means isn't the level of the opponent's mons, but their intelligence or AI. which present us a challenge as we just can't sweep the opponent while walking through routes. Now, come on, we all know the feeling we have while facing Sabrina or Whitney during our playthroughs of Kanto and Johto. We don't have it while facing Brock or Jasmine. Even though the anime gave them characters that earned our respect, their performance in the game is never great. Yeah, I know nowadays everyone is frequently using the best possible teams through YouTube, the best teams and all that stuff. But seriously, when our team relies on only one mon for a battle and it's knocked out, the tension is real. It also increases our bonding with the team. If it isn't true, why Charizard, Sceptile, and Infernape cannot be replaced in our hearts by Incineroar, Rillaboom, or Delphox? Because we spent hours with those teams, those guys through the we went through the hardships of training them, going through tough battles, and still walking out as the champion at the end of the game. This in no means that we have to make a whole game hard forever, but by the addition of the challenge mode, the games will earn the fluency, which increases the replay value of the latest additions to the franchise, like Let's Go's, Sword and Shield ones, and the XY especially, which suffer due to how easy they are. The replay values of these games are really less. Since this is the last point, let me elaborate it. The replay value means how many times can we replay the game in the least amount possible. Most of the times the replay values of the games are very less because it differs from person to person. But games like Black and White and their sequels had great story which we felt like an icing on the cake for challenge mode. But games like X and Y suffer due to less quality storylines, as everyone who had watched XYZ anime was excited for the games. We eventually even expected a Z version which would eventually have good plotline, but what we got was literal shit. There was nothing good about the XY games, and later on we got something better with Ultra Sun and Moon, but they gave us shit again in Sword and Shield. So that's my complaint. Also, replay matters because it's after all the value of the game. How much it matters, that's all in RPGs. So that's it for today, guys. Comment down your thoughts, pitch if you have any ideas like this one. The bottom line series is all about going intense. I would try to go intense on topics as much as possible because the whole premise of the series itself is getting topics into the notice of the audience. So I would try to go through topics in a harsh way as much as possible in bottom line series. But next week we would eventually start with a top 5 one where I would be ranking characters, multiple. Usually, I would rank characters and other things based on your choices. You can comment down what you want in the top 5 series as well. So that's one point, and the last point being subscribe for the YouTube algorithm and various stuff is happening around, man. Thank you for this one. Guys, also final request being please respond to my content. As much as you respond to my content, I love to grow with your responses. So please provide me your responses.